Last International Women's Day, we had a celebration meetup in Roermond, and there were several societies represented, and of course Maximina was there too. And the theme this year was Embrace Equity. It's more like this. You should try it. Then we talk about women's equality. Now, there were about 100 to 150 women invited there, and a few men were there as well, and also my own mother was there. And she stood up, grabbed the microphone, and she started talking about her mother, about my grandmother. And she said that she got 1 week off each year as a housewife. And I'm talking the 50s, 60s. So my grandpa must have been a feminist as well, which was a very progressive idea at that time. Now, in 73, my mother was pregnant and she had to stop working. And so I always thought that feminism is a topic of the generation of my mother. But more and more that day, I realized that I am a feminist myself. My daughter, who is 15 years old, is a feminist. And by exposing a billboard with the text, "Abortion is healthcare." And I suppose everybody can be feminists. Most women of Maximina are feminists even without realizing it. And maybe you too will be feminists after my TEDx talk. And let's tell you this one, it's not a gender issue. So men, you're all invited to be one as well and to join us. Now, last week, there was a middle-aged man, and he came to me and he said, "Maximina is an old-fashioned concept." Well, of course, that's not true, because we're a women's center now for 20 years. And about 300 women come over each week. And not to remind the people that are on our waiting list. And they come to meet, to relax, or to involve themselves. And if Maximina wasn't there, if we weren't existing, then these people wouldn't dare to leave their houses. They wouldn't dare to come over. So thanks to Maximina, we can reach out to all these women who need us. So it's not an old-fashioned concept. And for us, it doesn't matter which age you have or are, or what culture you have or religion. Everybody's welcome to come. And about 60% of the women are from abroad. So we don't mind which background you have. Even though you were Queen Her Majesty, we don't care. Well, of course, that's not really true. The Queen has invited us last March. We were all very excited. And I remember myself standing on the doorstep waiting for her arrival. And I was a bit nervous, like I'm a bit now. And I even forgot to call her Her Majesty at first. And I had to get a grip on myself for not forgetting to just staring at her the whole time, and that we were really having a discussion. But anyway, she arrived and she came to our center. And for us, it was an absolute highlight that the Queen found it worthy to come to see Maximina. And so that means that's really important for our existence and the confirmation that we really need it. Now, let me explain something about the key of our success. And that has everything to do with belonging. We create an environment of belonging, a dwelling of safety, a dwelling of feeling at home, inclusion. So all the women who come over, they feel really accepted and respected. And that's very familiar thing to feel. So if you come over to Maximina, it feels like you're at home, and that's important. It's important to meet, to relax, and to evolve, to feel at home like that. And of course, it's not just about meeting, relaxing, evolving. It has everything to do with self-determination. And I call myself a lucky person because I am self-determined. I had every opportunity to do so, but a lot of women, of course, they don't. And that makes a difference in life, where you were born or brought up, if you have these opportunities. And for instance, poverty is a lack of opportunity. So that's what, if poverty, if you want to solve something about that, well, then we go to the first SDG as pronounced by the United Nations, that it's no poverty. And if you want no poverty, then you need to do something about opportunities, creating opportunities like we do at Maximina every day. And well, when Maximina started 20 years ago, we were a center for only mothers. Well, not only mothers, but mostly mothers. And it happens to be that most people living in poverty are mothers, single mothers, because they have to take care of their children and they don't have the opportunity to go working very easily. So if we need to do something about that, that's the first gender gap that we need to solve, to be honest. Well, I've moved 17 times in my life. I've lived in several cities, several countries. And when I was 10 years old, we went as a family to Saudi Arabia, as an expat family. And one day I remembered we went swimming. And there was this Arab girl swimming too, and she was having the bathing clothes on, covered by a long dress. And she was swimming, and when she got out of the water, her sister just grabbed a towel and covered her immediately. And after a while, she talked to me in a little bit of English, and she said, "Are you a boy?" And I remembered I was very insulted, 10 years old, but a few years later, I understood that question, because I thought, okay, I was only wearing trousers, like a lot of Western girls did or do when they go swimming with 10 years old. I had short-cut blonde hair, so cultural difference couldn't be bigger at that time. Well, at that time, women in Saudi Arabia, they weren't allowed to be self-independent or go anywhere. They weren't able to go working apart from teaching or nursing. And nowadays, things have changed. They can get their own driving license, for example, even get their own identity card. And, well, with that, there are little steps, of course, but it helps them more to be self-determined at the end. And that's law changes. What helps a bit? Well, if we want gender equality, and that's the fifth SDG we're talking about, then we need to do something about equality. We need to create opportunities for all women, like we do at Maximinas. And it's not about the opportunities itself, but it's about creating the environment to be self-determined. Well, for me, it's about making your own choices. So it's not just working for a living, but the freedom to go for your own choices. And that's the purpose of us every day. Now, we have a program that's called Maximina, and now further on, and we help women to be self-determined like that. And we just look for their interests and what skills they already possess or need to evolve. And then we start a program to help them to be self-determined at that time. Not to put women in their own power, but creating an environment that they can stand in their own power. And that's the difference between creating the environment or putting someone. We don't put someone, they do it just on their own. Well, at Maximinas, we have women participating in our center, and they have different cultural backgrounds, different education. Some are illiterate, some are low literate. Sometimes they even have a high university degree, but it's all about high equality of education, of course, and that's what we try to do, to be self-determined at the end. So besides Maximina, I also work at Gildeopleidingen. That's a school here in Roermond, and we have several studies about health and hospitality and economics and technology. And I really like it when things come together, when two worlds come together, like education and social cultural issues. So, and that day, last summer, I got a phone call from Isa. She's one of our volunteers, and she talked to me and she said, "Anouk, I want you to help me. I want to go to school." And she came over to the office and we started talking. She said, "I have my children on the dinner table and I wanted to go to school. even if I'm a mother of teenage children, I want to be an example for them. I want to show them that I can be self-determined. And if I have to start in a first level education, I don't mind. Then I start at first and go to the next. And for me, it's all about being independent and to show my own daughter that I want to be independent. So she went for a job interview, and that was the first time in her life. And she was very nervous, but she got there. She really got there, and she was a bit nervous talking about dress code, but she did. And now she's working at a hotel, which really helps her. And will start after summer with the education. Now we have one rule here at TEDx, talking English. At Maximinas, we have the rule to speak Dutch, so everybody can understand each other. And for us, talking the same language means making the first connection. So it's really necessary to speak in the same language like that. We have several language programs and also informal programs like kitchening. Like we have Maximina's World Kitchen, and the key of success is about a very good taste, actually. So you should join, and we sit all at one table like a family. And we also have Maximina Fashion, and that helps to talk to people you never met. And the women learn how to deal with shopping clients, dealing with money, scheduling, and so on. So it's really a nice way to enter Maximina for the first time. Now, more people need to find us and do find us, which we really like. And if you have been there once, you always want to return twice at Maximinas, because it's like a belonging and a homecoming feeling. And I can tell you, it's the power of our volunteers, and there ain't no bigger impact, social impact, than the volunteers. Once I've calculated it, and we do about €1 million each year in volunteering, if you would talk about it in money. And without volunteers, we wouldn't even exist. Okay, so let me tell you, there is no bigger social impact for me than Maximina, and I'm really proud to be the ambassador of our foundation. And it might cost nothing, but creating opportunities for someone else, that's really priceless in life. Thank you for listening.